Evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is now 5:30. We're going to come to order. We'll have the roll call followed by the Pledge of Allegiance, and now to Jessica Reed.
Thank you. President Letitia Walker.
Present.
Vice President Shirley Baker.
Here.
Trustee Shamika Brown.
Here.
Trustee Kathy Corbin.
Here.
Trustee Felice Holder.
Here.
Trustee Brenda Moore.
I am present.
Trustee Jerron Morris. And student trustee Tristan Simmons will join during the public session.
Now for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated. I'd like to adopt tonight's agenda. Is there first? Corbin. Who will second?
Brown.
Brown. All in favor, any opposed or abstaining? Count is 6 at this time. Welcome to tonight's combined session. We'll do work and then we will vote. Prior to entering into executive session, we have a BOCES vote, which is 3 individual votes. If you look at your packets, it'll be Board of Education 1, 2, and 3. We'll start now with Board of Education 1. Allow me to read it. I'm going to read it just for purpose of the record. Ready? BOCES vote regarding Jeanette Santos. Be it resolved that the Board of Education of the Wyandanch Union Free School District casts 1 vote to fill 1 vacancy on the Board of Cooperative Educational Services with the name of Jeanette Santos for a 3-year term, commencing July 1, 2026. Is there a first?
Brown.
Brown. Who will second? Corbin. Any questions? All in favor? Any opposed or abstaining? The count is 6. Now for Board of Education number 2, concerning the BOCES vote for Robert Sheed. Be it resolved that the Board of Education of the Wyandanch Union Free School District casts 1 vote to fill 1 vacancy on the Board of Cooperative Education with the name of Robert Sheed for a 3-year term commencing July 1, 2026. Is there a first?
Baker.
Baker. Who will second?
Brown.
Brown. Any questions? All in favor? Any opposed or abstaining? The count is 6. And finally, Board of Education number 3. This concerns the BOCES 26-27 administrative budget. Be it resolved that the Board of Education of the Wyandanch Union Free School District voted to approve the 26-27 administrative budget for the Board of Cooperative Educational Services, 2nd Supervisory District of the Suffolk County, Western Suffolk, BOCES, New York. Is there a first?
Brown.
Brown. Is there a second? Corbin. Any questions? All in favor? Any opposed or abstaining? The count is 6 and therefore the vote counts. That concludes all 3 items for the BOCES vote. And now for executive session. Tonight, we will discuss personnel items, updates from our legal team, and the employment of particular persons. Is there a first?
Brown.
Brown, Baker, questions? All in favor? Any opposed or abstaining? The count now is 6-0-0 at 5:34 p.m. We are in official executive session. and that's what took us over by 47 minutes. We thank you for your patience, and we'll be moving along in public session as soon as our cabinet joins us. Thank you again. In the meanwhile, Jessica, let's get started with housekeeping. You ready? So coming out of executive session, it was Morris Walker. It was 7:00 at 7:47 p.m. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen of the cabinet, for your patience. Before we go on to any presentations tonight, the Board of Education decided it wants to take action first as it pertains to all resolutions with the intention to block vote the following. Everything with the exception of 10B2, 10B3, 10C1. Motion to block vote is there first. Moore, Walker. Are there any questions? All in favor? Any opposed or abstaining? The count is 7. Now for the actual vote.
Morris.
Walker. All in favor? Any opposed or abstaining? The count is 7. Now for the individual votes as follows. Personnel 10B2, letter A, is there first.
Morris.
Walker. Are there any questions? All in favor? Any opposed or abstaining? The count is 7. 10B2, letter B, is there first.
Baker.
Baker. Walker. Are there any questions? All in favor? Any opposed
Morris is opposed.
or abstaining? The count is 6-1-0. 10B3, letter A, is there first.
Morris.
Walker. Are there any questions? All in favor? Any opposed or abstaining? The count is 7. 10B3, letter B, is there first.
Baker.
Walker. Are there any questions? All in favor? Any opposed?
Morris.
Brown.
Hold on.
The count is 3-4-0. Business 10C1, as it reads. Be it resolved that the Wyandanch Junior Free School District Board of Education does hereby adopt a school district budget authorizing a total expenditure of $1,024,605,665 and an associated tax levy of $23,569,441 for the Wyandanch Junior Free School District Public School for the 26-27 school year, said budget to be presented to the voters of the district on May 19th, 2026, and be it further resolved that at least 14 days before the 19th of May, 2026, copies of the aforementioned budget shall be prepared and made available upon request at the office of the district clerk. Be it further resolved that the property tax report card is to be filed with the New York State Education Department. Be it further resolved that the Board of Education accepts the property tax report. The question of adoption of the foregoing resolution was duly put to a vote on roll call, which resulted as follows. Please call the roll.
Madam President,
Sir.
sorry that you've read all of that.
Yes.
I would ask that we table this to after the budget presentation.
So noted. Tabled until after the report. That takes care of that. And finally, be advised, public, that the Board of Education intends to, a motion to reconsider personnel number 10B2, letter A, for discussion. Is there first?
Point of order, please state what meeting that was from.
That was from the March 18th, 2026 meeting, sir.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I heard
First.
Morris Walker. Is there a question or a concern? Hearing none. All in favor? Any opposed or abstaining? The count is 7. At this time, we turn it over to the superintendent of schools for public presentations.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Hold them. Both are fold.
Thank you, President Walker.
Welcome, sir.
Good evening, President Walker, Vice President Baker, members, trustees of the board, faculty and staff, and community, Wyandanch community. Just want to thank you all for the opportunity to present our budgeted presentation and our recommended expenditures to the board. But before I begin, I just want to make a couple of announcements about just some of the activities that took place during the month of March. I think Syntax had made the community aware, but I think there was some great things happening during the month of March and early April that I just want to remind everyone of. Last month we had a presentation, MLK, International Fest, where our students really discussed the coaches from around the world. They presented about the coaches around the world. And it was seeing our scholars, really take that on and really show that they can present to their peers and then also the teachers within the building. A couple of the administrators went down to actually see it and was excited by what we saw, throughout the process. At LFH, I want to thank LFH for hosting our last board meeting and the presentation that they provided. At MLO, during the month of March, towards the end of March, they had their Women's Month presentation, along Women's Month / Black History Month celebration, where they presented on various time periods in history. It was a great presentation for all of the community to see, the school community to see. And at the high school, just last week, they had a civil service fair in conjunction with the with Suffolk County Department of Labor. That was attended by over 41 students. So I just want to thank the high school for that work. Upcoming this month, actually on April 24th, Wyandanch High School will be working in collaboration with Suffolk County Police Department, and we will have sort of like a police academy day where the police department will have our tables and invite our scholars out on the high school lawn, and then they will have the helicopter come out as well. This is an opportunity for our scholars to learn about the police department and the many ways that they can, just to learn about what happens with the police and to actually, go on their recruitment fair. And then we have happening as well, Shark Tank. I think many of you probably remember Shark Tank from last year. It will be happening again this year. Just want to thank our school librarian for Miss Sternberg for the work she's done in the past, and she will be doing with the Shark Tank again this year. We have about 12 contestants, and we look forward to seeing what they're going to present this year. So we presented a couple of times on the budget, and not much has changed in the budget since our last presentation. But I want to start off as usual by thanking the Board of Education and thanking the community for first adopting the budget last year for the 25-26 school year, and then also the community for approving the budget. Because as we talked about before, it allowed for community resources, and then also what has taken place as a result is our early childhood center, which is being built. As you see at this point in time, if you had the opportunity to get here before dark, the steel beams are up. The steel beams are up, and concrete has been poured in certain locations. And so we have a foundation. We have more than a foundation. So it's exciting just to see what will be taking place, throughout. When you first come in the door, you will see some renderings of the early childhood center. And we have some pictures up here, but it's probably better to see it in brighter color on the posters to the side of you. So as you know, we had a budget calendar that was approved in September of 2025. And we're at the point now where we're on April 21st, as you see is bolded, and it's the budget adoption. Until tonight, the goal is for the Board of Education to adopt the budget. On May 6th, we will be having a budget hearing, and then on May 19th, we'll be having an actual budget vote. So I talked about our goals of right sizing. I think hopefully we remember, what that means is just aligning our budget to our staffing and to the student enrollment. And when you have all three pieces in alignment, it allows you to better balance the budget. Another goal is that we want to look at student achievement. We're always in the process of trying to increase student achievement. What I will tell you is that just last week or a week and a half ago, I had a conversation with Newsday around the fact that we are off the targeted list. The district is off the targeted list this year. I think Trustee Morris mentioned that a few meetings ago. And we're off the list based off the progress that our scholars have made. Our performance, we still have a ways to go, but we have a lot of scholars that have moved from a level 1 to a level 2. So that's important as well. And I think that we need to congratulate, all of our schools for the work that they've been doing and try to move our students forward. So I just want to take that moment to just thank all of our administrators, all of our teachers, and most importantly, our scholars for their work. And so we're still looking at strengthening the core, the resources that we are putting in place. We talked about that. The ELA curriculum, for our elementary schools, what we're doing, we're adding a new core for the 26-27 school year. We're increasing dual enrollment courses by adding advanced placement courses in our high school. And that's going to be an exciting time because our students will have the opportunity to take, in the 9th grade, take a personal finance course. At the high school also, we have the cosmetology course. The classroom is in the process or will be in the process of being constructed or reconstructed and outfitted, with the actual resources and materials, for us to have a fully functioning cosmetology room. And in 6th grade, we're going to be introducing a bilingual course. Currently we don't have bilingual education in our middle school, so that's a plus. The transition from 5th to 6th grade, we have several students that need or that will do better as a result of having bilingual education. And then increased programming for athletics. Also, we talked about centralizing after-school programs, creating a cohesion with our music programs, and then providing support for students when they need it most. So when we talked about Beyond the Bell, this was for our alternative students who will need different placement, students with disabilities. We want to make sure that they have opportunities for schooling as well. The school, currently when students are awaiting placement, they are home. We want to make sure that they get time in school. So we're going to ensure that they have 2.5 to 3 hours a day minimally, in school, so that they're being serviced. Additionally, we have students who may need different placements as well, as they have had social emotional concerns. We want to make sure that they have opportunities to receive instruction, in school as well. And then one of the things I didn't talk about last time, I wanted to make sure we talked about it this time, is that we have set aside funds for next year for Saturday Academy. That's important for our scholars in grades 3 through 8. We want to ensure that they have time on task. Right now in our elementary schools, there's scope and edge, and so we don't want to compete with those programs. Those programs last to 6 p.m. Daily. We want to ensure that we have that opportunity to have our scholars in school where it'll be helpful for the families, but then also it's more time on task for our scholars. So we have to look at, in terms of considerations, classrooms, the location of the classrooms, the staffing when it comes for special education, the time of service, and then dedicating administrators or an administrator to be able to provide the support. When we talked about the music program, one of the things we were excited about was the lessons during the day for our band program. Since that time, and I put a question mark there because unfortunately we wanted to have arts and education through BOCES, through the BOCES COSA, but what we found out is that that's only for after school programming. So we're gonna work with the band teacher to find alternative ways to meet the needs, to support our band students. And then, we talked about the middle school feeder structure, along with adding additional support for performance groups. And so we want to make sure we have about 8. We want to ensure that we have about 8 stipend positions to support, the band program. So in terms of interscholastic sports and intramural programs, as you see, softball, soccer for JV, competitive cheer, and we have a host of new athletic programs that we're introducing for the 26-27 school year. Along with staffing, we want to ensure that there's enough coaches, assistant coaches to support. So the projected numbers, it didn't change at this point. For LFH, we're going to decrease by 3, the number of teachers. At MLK, we're going to decrease by 2. At MLO, we're going to decrease by 3, and then at the high school, we're going to add 3 teachers. So the major expenses. It's important that, as I talked about before, we're able to do all of this with a 1% tax increase. As you know, you can go up to a 2% increase, but we stay flat with the 1% tax increase. And so, as a result, that's a difference of, or increase of $3,405,000, which is a 2.81% difference. For salaries, salaries is where a lot of the spending takes place, and it's because, of course, we need to have a lot of staff in place in order to meet the needs of our scholars. So it's an increase of $934,775, which is a 2.27% increase. And that increase primarily is just the fact that for all of our bargaining units, of course, they get an increase each year. So we have to ensure that that's accounted for in the budget. So thank you, Mr. Wilson, for your work on that. In terms of shared services, we actually are decreasing the amount we're going to be spending by $988,000, dollars, and that's just from honestly just from really looking at the services that we are providing and seeing where we can actually cut, where the services almost duplicate, but we're not decreasing services. We're just removing some of those services where it's like a duplicate.
Question,
Yes.
with those shared services and the reduction,
Yes.
is the majority of it coming from PPS related services or elsewhere?
No, it is special. Okay, some of it, yes. So a big portion is special education. But then there are like some services, there are like some programming that we have when we realize that we don't have to buy this program because this program does something similar.
Got it. Thank you.
You're welcome. Tuition payments, as we know, unfortunately, for next school year, 26-27 school year, over 13 million, close to 14 million will be going towards charter and private schools, which is a $2,715 increase. $2,715,492 increase. That's a big increase, but right now, that's where we live. We need to ensure that what we're offering really begins to, bring our scholars back. And we're looking to do that through one of the things that we're going to begin doing in the next few weeks is we have a survey that we're working on with Thought Exchange, where we begin looking at what it is that our scholars want to do in terms of their careers. And once we start getting that information, we'll put it together, and then it'll help us to start planning out in future years what are the pathways that our scholars want to be involved in for their career choice. And so we're excited about that because we know that as students are engaged in the process, it helps them to want to be here, but it also will help to bring some of our scholars back who will realize that the programming is beginning to change. So we're scheduled for 26-27 school year in terms of transportation to almost be at 13 million, which is a $923,000 increase.
Question,
Yes.
as pertains to transportation.
Mm-hmm.
Every year, it's close to a $1 million increase.
Mm-hmm.
At what point will the Wyandanch Free School District allow me to, one, stop sounding like a broken record, and actually do something about bringing transportation back into the district? Every year since 2021, it has increased by almost $1 million. Some years it even went over $1 million.
So thank you for that. There are a couple of things that's happening right now. One of the mandates that was coming from Governor Hochul's office that we seems like they may put a halt on is the fact that they wanted school districts to go
Zero emission.
yes, over the course of the next few years. As you know, that's even much more costly than the diesel buses.
Mm-hmm.
But what I'll say also is that we're in the process of a child study. Well, the child study was done with BOCES, with one of the BOCES upstate, and so we, as a result of that, they've through the study they've realized that there are certain walks to school that can be considered a safety concern, and so as a result, we may be getting reimbursement aid on a pretty significant percentage of our scholars that ride the bus, and so that would help. It would really bring down the cost of transportation, or we'll get a reimbursement each year, I should say.
But even if we had our transportation in-house, we still would get the reimbursement, correct?
Correct.
So my question is, when are we going to roll or slowly roll back into having transportation in the district? At one time, it was discussed and said that we would start for extracurricular activities and then gradually, bring it back. Because I do understand that you can't bring it all back at once and that it will be in phases. But we haven't even thought about phase one yet. And I've been saying this year after year. And that's an issue for me. The second part about to that is the many people that were laid off, that live in this community, and were laid off because the board at the time decided to get rid of transportation and gave them 2 weeks' notice. And might I add, BOCES, so I was told when I was elected, that BOCES was the one that advised the board to get rid of transportation. And they're now the same people who provide transportation for the district, and they increase by $1 million every year. Stevie Wonder can see this. The people that told us to get rid of it are now increasing it every year by $1 million. So that is the best game that there is. It's a game that's bigger than the Super Bowl that they're playing on this district right now.
If it's the pleasure of the board, we can begin looking into that for some of the smaller, activities that take place. But what I will tell you though is that one of the concerns that a lot of districts have is finding drivers, and so that
We have them, they live right here.
right, but and then ensuring that what we pay, all first and foremost buying the buses, and then or leasing the buses, whatever it is that we would do, but then also being competitive in terms of what we pay, our drivers to have them stay home. I'm not sure the reason, that it was dismantled in the past, but I know, right.
It was a deficit, and it was said that it would have been at the time a $1 million savings. Now understand,
Okay.
But every year if you increase it by $1 million, was it really a savings or not? Because we all know that in-house is much cheaper than outsourcing, because if you really outsource and it's a service that you really need, people are going to tell you you're going to pay what they tell you got to pay. And every year we have issues with transportation, even as it pertains to our students who are private school students, and we then have to turn around and contract with limousine companies for the first 2 weeks of the school year to even get them to go to school. So enough is enough. And one last thing I want to add is that the board has, I guess, gone through at least 3 studies already, cost studies on transportation. And they used to say it's cheaper to keep them. Well, the studies have shown that it would be much cheaper if we had in-house transportation. Aside from the question mark or the worry that may have been out there, where people say, oh, well, workers' compensation claims were high among those who were employed in the transportation department. That's something completely different. It's been operations and providing the service. It was much cheaper in-house than it was out being outsourced.
Mr. Morris, I beg your difference, because the study was done. We didn't just do a haphazard dismantle transportation. A study was done, and at that time, it was saving us money. We could not afford it, and we were in a deficit, and we didn't have no other choice.
But I hate to beat up something so old, but BOCES, from an institutional standpoint, were the ones who say get rid of transportation. And then when the district listened to them, They said use us to provide transportation and increase it every year by $1 million. So to me, that just doesn't make sense. If the people saying, hey, you need to get rid of your transportation services and then go with us. And then, they did hire some folks. I think we had a contract with We Transportation through BOCES. And from there, they've just been increasing every year by $1 million. So I don't see how it makes any sense.
So, as I said, we can look at, what it would cost to, starting small with an after-school program and see the difference. We can begin by doing that.
Because the study 2 years ago said it would cost us $11 million to run transportation in-house. That's what we see what we'll be spending now on transportation.
Well,
Transportation, we got to drive buses.
right. So it's the buses, and then what we have to think about also is,
And this is not including after school and all of that, which or sports and all that other stuff, which would be even more money. This is simply what flat. Or we're not factoring field trips and all of this other stuff that we've been paying even more than what's budgeted because we may find grant money and other things like that to offset the cost. But I'm talking about what the study said, and we've been told this 3 times that it was cheaper was to have transportation in-house than outsource.
If you recall, Mr. Trustee, the board directed the administration to have a study performed this year as to what it would cost to reinstitute transportation. I think it would probably a good idea for us to re-release that study so the board members can refresh their recollections as to what that report indicated.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yes.
my fear would be around the higher cost of, diesel fuel.
Mm-hmm.
But absolutely, that makes sense. So interfund transfers, this year we're going to reduce that by just about 2,400,000. That's when we take funds from the general funds to support capital projects. One of the things that we're looking at for the 26-27 school year is district-wide interior door project. It was much needed. So, the hopes is that we can get that project underway. And in debt services, that will go up by $841,000. Our professional services will go up by $129,000. That's our legal, accounting, auditing, and private security. And then custodial, grounds, and maintenance will increase by $165,000. For utilities, unfortunately, like I just talked about, the higher cost of gas, oil, etc., will be up by. It's going to increase the cost by $216,000. We're looking into a energy performance contract, and some of the things that we're looking at is potentially solar panels. We'll be costing that out. For the early childhood center, we want to do energy savings or energy light savings project. Just to ensure that we outfit the district with energy saving lights, and then also which are also much brighter as well. So, that's the hope in the future. And along with that, what else comes out of there is our utilities such as telephone, gas, oil, and electric. School liability insurance, unfortunately in districts, you have to have liability insurance, and so it will increase by $29,500, almost $30,000. And then other increase or decrease, I should say, of $822,000. That's where our athletics comes out of that budget. Our extended school year program for our students with disabilities comes out of that budget as well. Travel, furniture, etc. comes out of that. So this one is hard to see. You should, I think you may have it in front of you, but it's 5-year forecast. You want to talk to that for me, Mr. Wilson?
Revenues and expenditures.
Basically, what we're looking at over the next 4 or 5 budget cycles is our revenue flattening out, expenditures going up, meaning reductions are going to need to be made
In certain areas.
in addition to tapping into our reserve funds. That's the that's the current standing, or that's what we currently see as projected out to the end of this decade. And it's simply an update of the same information we've been providing for the last 2 years, saying this is going to hit home. And various superintendents, and of course the current board and prior boards the last 2 years, not with a great sense of ease, but with a great sense of responsibility, have conducted business in such a way that we've been able to right-size, maintain programs, operations, and use a more surgical approach than a meek-whip approach to keeping our budget in balance both financially and structurally. It's going to become more challenging to do that over the next 2 or 3 years. But we know about it. We're doing everything we can in a prudent way to minimize the impact without raising taxes above the 2%. We have reserves, and to the extent we're going to be required to use those to maintain programs and operations, we will do that. But that's not going to, we can't go on with that forever. And as I'm very confident, this school board, this school community does not want to become South Country. We won't be having that.
We won't. We sure don't.
So I just want to take a moment to thank, Mr. Chase, our state fiscal monitor, for with his guidance. We were able to meet the requirements of the Office of State Comptrollers. We were able to submit to the Office of State Comptrollers at least 30 days, 30 plus days ahead of time. We were able to submit the documentation that we needed to submit to them. We was able to submit it to the board for adoption, but we also received from them. They were told that we were in compliance, which is a great thing to be. So I just want to thank, once again, Mr. Chase for his support. Their exact words were that the revenue and expenditure projections for the 26-27 budget are reasonable, and it's good to hear that language is reasonable, and it complies with the tax levy limit.
That's good.
So in summary, I just want to say that we are proposing a budget for the 26-27 school year of $124,605,655, which is an increase of $3,405 $405,160, excuse me, which is a 2.81% difference. And as I said earlier, it's a 1% tax increase. I just want to take a moment to ask, are there any additional questions?
Yes, I have one more.
Mhm.
As of today, the state budget still has not been passed.
Right.
And we're now a month away from the approval, hopefully by the community, of this budget. Looking at the projection for state aid, what's our certainty on it being a projection, and are we certain that we will receive this from the state? Could it be lower? But I haven't seen it really lower than what we projected, or could it even be higher? What's the feeling? Since it's not an accurate number at this time because there's no budget that has been approved.
All we can do at this time is what we have done, is the Office of the State Comptroller has agreed our revenue projections right now in terms of state aid are based on that which the governor has proposed. So that's where we are, and after tonight, the amount of money we can spend in terms of approved budget is fixed. So if by chance the state aid, when the state decides it's going to do its job and put forth a legislatively approved budget, if it happens this year as it did last year, that resulted in us getting more money than what the governor proposed.
That's right.
But we could not spend it in the budget. We used it this year as part of the fund balance being brought, fund balance appropriation. And that's likely what we'll end up doing this year again. So while this current budget predicts a 1% increase in foundation aid, which is our basic, which is the biggest pot of money. And it's just a guess, a somewhat educated one, even though it's coming from me. We're probably going to receive more than that 1%.
We hope so.
Not necessarily 2%, but something more than the 1%.
Yeah.
But and again, it's shameful, especially for districts like ours that are high needs, to be put in positions where we have to satisfy outside auditors with our reasonableness in terms of projections. It has to tie into something,
Right.
only for a month later to receive money that you can't use, so to speak.
Absolutely. Now, my next, I guess, concern or worry is this. There's a big push, which I don't disagree with, because I'm a part of this tier, tier 6, and the reforms that are needed. However, I know that it can come with a cost to school districts like Wyandanch, where some people, if the reforms that the rumors are saying that the governor will be in agreement with, some people may be able to retire very soon than to what we planned for them to retire, projected that they would retire at. So could that in a way affect the district as well, where rather than retiring at 63, they may be coming back down to 55, and I'm praying they do.
You and my youngest daughter. She's a tier 6 as well with the state. But will it affect school districts? Yes. Will it impact this school district disproportionately? Yes, because we're smaller. What will end up happening is what we, the district, have to contribute in terms of the tier 6 rate will go up. It's about 17% now. All right. And that's, I'm sorry, no, it's much lower than that. I'm sorry. 17 is the average. But it will go up from where it is now, from maybe the estimates I've seen, depending on which if any of the proposals that are out there get accepted, they could almost double.
That's what I'm hearing, and that's
And
that
that's
extra
not-
money right there.
And that's
Could
not,
come
in the 5-year summary, projection we just showed, that type of change is not included in that 5-year projection outlook right now. If it were to happen, we can look at our contributions as it relates to Tier 6 in particular, about doubling. And by doubling, I mean that probably is about, in year one, $600,000 to $700,000.
Just
Well,
to
that can
add,
be offset, of course,
sure.
somewhere.
Just to add an additional comment, probably 60 days ago or so, a couple of trustees and your superintendent, we all attended the legislative breakfast held by BOCES. And funny enough, although we're smaller with higher needs, there were districts from across the island that also have similar concerns, particularly as it pertains to transportation, whether they're looking at diesel and converting to electric, and also the 1% increase proposed by the governor, which is appalling because you have a larger growing number of those who have special needs, those who fall in the gaps of that 18 to 21-year-old space where they don't really know what channel they're going to take to develop lives for themselves. And we're talking about districts that are richer, right? And they also have those concerns. And then you have those other costs that relate to like litigation and those special circumstances that often aren't discussed until as it occurs. So I want you all to know that the budget is pretty impressive, right? I think it's more than reasonable considering our deficits and the places that we really have to start from, which are less than others. So it's going to be challenging, but it's not only challenging for us; it's challenging for others as well.
And again, thank you, Madam President.
You're welcome,
And
sir.
it's not all doom and gloom. The outlook, to the end of the
That's
deputy
exactly
director was
right.
speaking. I mean, I'm taking a conservative approach.
Yeah.
But I would be remiss and foolish
Mm-hmm.
not to thank you and the superintendent and others for your work and leadership, because one of the things that you did tonight by approving the child safety zone
Yes.
has the potential to add $2 million a year to our revenues,
Yes, it does.
simply by declaring it a child safety zone. And we're going to hope, pray, believe, and assume that SCD will accept
There's hope,
the resolution and the findings.
for sure.
And we will continue to be, whether the transportation provided by district staff or BOCES staff or anybody else,
Right.
students that we're not being reimbursed for now are getting aid on now.
Yeah.
We will be getting aid on based on what you've done tonight.
Mm-hmm.
So again, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Welcome.
Second thing that has great potential is something called payment in lieu of taxes being added
Pilot.
to our revenue.
That's right.
As most of you, I'm sure all of you are aware, of the potential of the new construction going up at or on or about Pine Line. I
Yes.
can't remember the name of the project there, but if rumor has it that if that
will.
pilot comes through,
Yeah, we will.
Get the money from that. Where?
I'm hopeful that they will apply for a pilot versus it being added to the tax rolls. If it's put on as a pilot, the school district annually stands to gain $2 to $3 million a year.
That's correct.
If it's put onto the tax roll, you gain no dollars,
Mm-hmm.
none, because the
Clear.
tax levy is capped and fixed.
Mm-hmm.
So there are two.
Mm-hmm.
Let's to give it some balance. While we're doing everything with your support and the community support we can to keep things in balance and in
Please be
check,
quiet, Mr. Chase.
we do have some irons in the fire to kind of lessen the load, so to speak.
Okay.
And we're going to continue to pursue those types of things diligently.
Noted. I'll leave it there. Anything more?
Thank you for stealing my thunder, Mr. Wilson. But once again, honestly, I just want to thank you all. I just want to thank you all for allowing me and the team to put together, a balanced budget that hopefully represents the needs of our community and can help move our district forward. So thank you.
Appreciate it. Round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for the good work of your school superintendent and staff. Thank you so kindly. So before we go to hearing and receiving of delegates, just one other order of business. I previously read business number 110C1, and Jessica Reed will pick up with the roll call, please.
Okay, business one. Roll call. President Letitia Walker,
Affirmative.
Vice President Shirley Baker,
Yes.
Trustee Shamika Brown.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Trustee Kathy Corbin,
Yes.
Trustee Felice Holder, Trustee Brenda Moore, Trustee Gerard Morris,
Absolutely, yes.
and that completes the roll call.
Round of applause, y'all. We will be voting on May 19th. Please make sure you vote for your budget. Exercise your right for more and more resources to come to your community. Turning back to Jessica Reed for hearing and receiving of delegates.
Thank you. I just have one name on the list, Mr. Carrera. All right, and you'll have 3 minutes. You can go right to the podium.
Very good. That was awesome. Great job.
Can you give one for yourself? And pass it over there, please. And one more. Gotcha. Hey.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Hopefully it's gonna be enough over here.
If not, like
We can share.
sacrifice.
Okay.
We can share. Don't worry.
I have to give it one, I leave, to them over there. But hopefully we're gonna have enough.
So pass it to them. We'll share.
Oh,
Yeah,
but
please.
this is,
It's okay.
this is different. Oh, this is yours?
Yes. Don't worry. I have legal right here.
Okay, all right.
I promise it'll be okay.
And let me see how we doing over here. No, you got it? All right. I don't know if you can hear me without the microphone.
People watching online,
Okay. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
You know me, I am Jose. And what you have over there in your hand is that's two proposals, by the way. And one without the other one is nothing, And I want to talk now is about, what the budget limitation is. And I see that the two presentation of the budget, and what is missing over there, from my perspective, as a parent, is this issue, is hurting, Wyandanch, the community, And it's the proposal budget that you was talking before, not include, any dedicated funding for parent involvement programs, parent engagement initiatives, parent workshops, family education series, parent academy, or parent center, materials that we parents need, to get a community engaged and involved, in the process, of education. And also there is the money to hire, some facilitators that come to the community, and trying to make the people from the community to get, engaged and involved in the process of education, for our kids. is hurting, it's hurting, the community. I say before, I'm gonna read it, it's gonna be easy for me, but now I get this way because I got emotion. I got emotion, when I see what happened over here, and I see we're talking about $129 million, for what? To get 29 in math and get 29 in reading and 19 in math for 129 million. Listen, that's what I say, I got emotion, with this. But I'm not gonna be crying over here. I'm gonna propose, something that's gonna help us, and it's gonna help our kids, Okay. Remember, our kids are with us in home for more hours than you in the school, than them in the school, I think we could help, If you help us to educate and to know about the system, we could bring, many things good, to the school system. What you have over there is, I have over here also, a list of the five districts, the good 5 districts around us, I have 10. I'm sorry, but my wallet is not big enough to get all this material printed, and everything. That's where I be a little economic, in this. But I want to have this
Okay.
hours, that I was working in the web, looking for all this data.
That is your time, Mr. Carrera. I'm sorry. That was 3 minutes.
Thank you so much.
Give me a couple minutes, please.
I'm sorry, that's your time, sir.
All
But
right,
we do have the
read-
information.
Read the
Thank
the
you.
proposal. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Just to confirm, no one else was looking to speak tonight, correct? All right, so that completes the hearing of the delegates.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Jose. We appreciate it, and we do have the documentation. All right, Board of Ed, there are some outstanding issues that need to be discussed in executive session. One being legal updates that we did not get to. Is that correct?
Yes.
And the employee of particular persons, the employment of particular persons. So I motion that we enter into executive session. Is there first? Moore. Baker. Questions? All in favor? Any opposed or abstaining? The count is 7 at 8:49 p.m. Thank you, Wyandanch community. Get home safely. Good night.